Okay people, a very quick flyby of the controls on S3K. In this section here we have the waveforms. There's a choice of 5 waveforms. Simple sine wave, sawtooth, square wave, and then two flavours, as it were, of pulse width modulation, which gives the effect of multiple oscillators, or this is only a single oscillator synth. Attack and decay. So the envelope is a little bit unusual compared with most modern synthesizers, which you have ADSR. You've got attack, decay, stroke release, and a sustain on a toggle. Octave controls gives you a fairly wide range. We have the drive control and the volume control here. The drive is pretty much what gives the synth this character. You won't hear the effect really on a plain vanilla sound like this, but when we start to use more of the modifications and that, it becomes more obvious what's going on there. Hopefully you could hear it adds a little bit of extra harmonics into the signal. A velocity control for the amplitude envelopes, and then we have this filter arrangement here, which is high pass, low pass filters, and these sliders are interactive, so if I obviously can't cross them over, as it were, as I bring down the low pass filter, so the I also drag down the high pass filter as well. You can see that hopefully in that little demonstration. If I bring down the low pass, you can hear the top end getting cut off. Okay, and if I leave that at the top and drag up the high pass, you can hear the low frequencies disappearing, and obviously if I set those in a fairly narrow band, you get a more of a band pass effect. Okay. The filter on this synthesizer is a 24 dB per octave, and it really starts to come into its own when you start using it with these two extra controls down here. The enhance, which is effectively a resonance control for the filter, and also the sweep, which then makes the envelope, the volume envelope, affect the filter also. So its nature is it's a slightly peaky filter, especially when used in relation with the drive, and hopefully some of Himalaya's patches sort of shows that it is possible to get some really quite interesting sounds out of this particular filter arrangement. Just alongside the high pass and low pass filter here, we also have these two velocity knobs. Down here, as I already mentioned, we've got the peak of the filter, so let me just take down the fairly smooth filter sound. If I push that up to its maximum, so you can hear the very significant difference that makes. And the sweep, let me just leave the enhance up for a minute. If I put that in, all fairly standard stuff for lovers of 70s and 80s synths. Okay, now we get onto these toggle buttons. As I said, you have the sustain switch here, which acts alongside the envelope controls. We have this one here, which is bend, and what this will do is automatically create a pitch bend at the end of every note that's played. The speed of the bend is directly proportional to the way that you've got the envelope control set here. We have repeat. The thing I like about the repeat is you can alter the rate with the repeat rate here, but when you release the key, the repeat stops and the natural decay of the instrument takes over. This was something that was borrowed from one of the synthesizers which inspired this architecture, and it used to be quite good for doing banjo type effects. And obviously if I have the sweep up and the enhance, okay, so I'll take the repeat off for the time being. Okay, portamento. The portamento controls on this are quite complex for a simple instrument like this, in the sense that you have a switch here which turns the portamento on and off. So that's the first control. You have the portamento speed here, which controls the rate. of glide between one note and another. And then you have the portamento type button over here, and this will change it between being a keyed portamento, i.e. you have to have one key held down and have not released it when you press the other key for the portamento effect to come in, or it can be a constantly on effect. So there I can hit individual keys. The portamento effect doesn't come in until I actually leave my finger on the first key when I play the second. Vibrato, we've got vibrato amount and vibrato rate here, fairly simple stuff. And then if I push this toggle down as well, then I get a delay effect on the vibrato. And the delay is proportional to how I have the envelope set as well. Okay, take those off. Okay, over here into this section, which is the MIDI global section. We've already mentioned the portamento button, so I won't mention that again. Here we have the mono modes. Okay, I can have it in mono, as I have at the moment. Or I can turn that off and have it in polyphonic mode. Okay. Also, I have the ability here to have a re-trigger on the mono. Note priority in the mono modes gives me a choice between the various modes. I can have off, so I have no note priority. I can have the highest note priority, the lowest note priority, or the last note played priority. The last note played is the one you traditionally use. Then we have the mod wheel assignment. Okay, we can affect how much the mod wheel affects the sounds. This instrument really does appreciate having the mod wheel applied to its, especially to its filters. So, and here I have the mod wheel assignment off to the low pass, to the high pass, or to both the low and the high pass filters. So if I turn that up fairly high and then play a sound, some quite nice retro type sounds there. The bend range, which is set on this little octave indicator here, you have a range of 1 semitone all the way up to an octave. And the MIDI channel here, control, which is just on these two toggle buttons between 1 and 16. Okay, then down the bottom here, we have the phase control, hopefully a retro type sounding phase there. Then we have the reverb. Okay, echo controls here, and these are tempo linked echo control. Then we have an octave control, and this is an attempt to recreate the old octave pedals they used to be in the past. And I've even hopefully got it so that it loses track when you play the higher notes. I can turn it on here, and then you can hear it starting to go a little bit out of pitch at the top, and that's a deliberate effect, trying to replicate the old octave pedals that they used to get. Rather than just introduce another oscillator into the signal chain, I wanted to get that octave pedal effect there. And a ring modulator, and here you have an amount control. And the pitch control for the ring modulation. And lastly, down here we have the arpeggiator, which I've been including in quite a few of my synths now. Yeah, it's clock linked again, and you have 4 octave range, and you have these various modes of arpeggiation here. And obviously that works quite well when you use it alongside the echo control as well. So there we go. As I say, experiment with the drive control, because that's really where this instrument starts to come into its own, especially when you combine that with the octaver as well. So for a single oscillator synth, it can be quite deceivingly large. Okay, now have fun with it, and many thanks for listening. Goodbye.